In case you needed any further convincing that the inmates are now running the asylum, this story should do the trick. The experts, yes, the same ones you've been hearing from time and time again over the past 3 years, are now urging a revolutionary shift of perspective, away from human-centered healthcare in favor of ecological equity, attributing equal value to all life. Yes, folks, the virus of diversity, inclusion, and equity, DIE, has fully infected the once prestigious UK Lancet Medical Journal and its experts. In its push for One Health, the Lancet proposes an integrated, unifying approach that aims to sustainably balance and optimize the health of people, animals, and ecosystems, asserting that the health of humans, domestic and wild animals, plants, and the wider environment, including ecosystems, are closely linked and interdependent. Now, for those of you who are older than 5 and watch my videos, you don't need the Lancet to tell you that we are indeed tied into one large ecosystem, and that we are reliant upon said ecosystems continuing functioning to survive, and that's why we make sure that we steward it well. A few days ago, I did a video on language contamination. For those of you who've not seen it, basically language contamination is a devious sleight of hand used by these progressive leftist woke technocrats. It's where they utter a sentence statement, and while sometimes full of highbrow, actually quite often full of highbrow language, you come away thinking, yeah, that's basically what you were thinking as well. In other words, you attribute your assumption of the meaning to what they're saying, but that's not the intent of their words, not so. Case in point, here's what the Lancet's experts really mean in their own words as they continue. The traditional approach to healthcare takes a purely anthropocentric view that the human being is the center of medical attention and concern. Well, kind of makes sense to me. The Lancet declares, whereas One Health places us in an interconnected and interdependent relationship with non-human animals and the environment. So what does that mean? Well, they elaborate that the revolutionary shift of perspective called for by One Health is based on the more progressive axiom that all life is equal and of equal concern, which means addressing pressing health issues at the human/animal/environment interface. They're still playing the language contamination game, and it's not until they elaborate even further that we get to their real end game. They go on to say, such a shift requires a complete change to our relationship with animals, which is why the journal recommends transition, get ready for it, from an animal-based diet to a plant-based one, which not only benefits human health, but also animal health and well-being. There you go. We've gone from sharing one ecosystem, which all rational human beings would agree we need to steward wisely and humanely, to the Lancet's wildly revolutionary proposal suggesting that the life of a human being is not necessarily worth more than the life of any non-human animal. Non-human animal, another example of how they introduce distorted words into the culture. Not sure about you, but I always believed that if you weren't a human, you were an animal. Up until now, I'd never heard of non-human animal, minus Bigfoot, of course. In their cult-like zeal for imposing equity, One Health demands that we take a fundamentally different approach to the natural world. The journal contends, one in which we are as concerned about the welfare of non-human animals and the environment as we are about humans. And they conclude with this gem. In its truest sense, One Health is a call for ecological, not merely health equity. This is what happens when you jettison a biblical worldview from society and replace it with a technocratic, secular, humanist one which no longer speaks to man's wise and sensible rule and domination over nature, but instead puts man's worth on par with all of nature, one in which your child is of no more value than your dog. Ladies and gentlemen, once a human being is of no more worth than an animal, what makes him worthy of being treated any differently? Anyway, thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. Please post any comments you have in the comment section. You can also follow me on my Rumble and my locals. If you're on my Rumble and you haven't subscribed, please do so. I'll also put the link to the original Lancet story in the notes section below. See you next time.